Hey everyone, Steve here from Big Head Tech, and it's been a rough 2 weeks. I had a processor die, a motherboard die, a graphics card die, and another motherboard that died. Now, some of them were all related. Ultimately, it came down to one faulty SATA power connector for RGB killed most of it. But for my Ryzen board, I don't know what killed it. It kind of works, just USB doesn't work, so I'm a little bit lost there, but I have to get a replacement. And I didn't want to go budget, but then I realized that the VRM solution, the cooling solution on the Strix, is really no better than some of the other boards under $100. So I actually defaulted back to ASRock. So we have the B450 Pro 4. I may have unboxed this before, but this is going to be a little bit of a deeper dive. We're going to go over everything, at least everything that I know about it. Got your user manual. Almost looks like it was used before. You got a CD drive. You have for the M.2, rear I/O, SATA cables, and now what everybody actually came for. I'm thoroughly convinced this was open, but if it works, that's all that matters. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's start up here. So we have an 8-pin, so standard. Should be fine for everything up to like a 3950X. We're going to touch upon that later. We have at the top corner here, we have two quote-unquote CPU fans. You can use them for whichever you would like. We have a system fan back here, and then we have two fans down here. Now, one thing I really like about this board being a budget board is we have addressable or 12 volt RGB there, 12 volt RGB there, 5 volt RGB there. So some really nice, in my opinion, necessary features that a board at less than $100, it's really nice to have. We have your M.2 Ultra, your standard M.2. I suspect this is going to use NVMe. This will not, which is fine. So up here, we have what's called an M.2 Ultra. It is a PCI Express Gen 3 X4. This one, this is important to note, the second one down here is PCI Express Gen 3 X2. This is Gen 3 X4, and also SATA 3. So this may or may not work with a SATA M.2. I would definitely recommend plugging in down here. And then we do have a total of 6 USB or SATA 3 ports there. USB 2, pretty confident. PS2 combo port. USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A, Type C. USB 3.1 Gen 1 times 4. And then this can also put out USB 3.1 Gen 1 as well. You can get up to 2 out of there. This has a 7.1 HD audio. It's Realtek ACL 892 audio codec, and it's using ELNA audio caps, and it's using Realtek Gigabit LAN. Kind of be expected on a budget board. I'm not going to throw a fit about it. You take a look here, and let me grab something to point with here. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 VRMs there, 1, 2, 3 there. So you would say, wow, this is a 6 plus 3. Not quite. So you flip it over and you're like, but Steve, there's no doublers on the back. Here's something I learned from BuildZoid, so props to him. What ASRock likes to do is they like to put 2 phases, or 2 of these per power phase. So this is actually a 3 plus 3. It's fine. This will handle, well, according to this, and I'm going to err with the side of caution. Well, first of all, let me tell you what VRMs are using here. So the low side, this should be variant 2 if I had to take a guess here. They're both rated essentially the same. Variant 1 uses 2 for the high side, SM4337, and for the low side, it's also using 2. It's also the SM4336. And the variant 2, which again, I'm not entirely sure, I want to say I have variant 1, is using 2 of the PZ0903 PKs for the high side, and 2 of the PK618BAs for the low side. So this is using essentially 2 high and 2 low per power phase. So that's why it's 3. According to the chart, either one of these can handle up to a 3950X stock. I would say this would be fine for like a 37 or 3800X with a little bit of OC, not max. That's about as far as I would take it. A 3950X and a 3900X at stock, you'd have to disable precision boost overdrive, which I'm not comfortable recommending. If you're getting a CPU that level, you really should have that enabled. But that is kind of my take. The other thing I would like to point out is this does have 3 SoC VRMs, and I believe I don't want to take the heatsink off, but they should probably have one or 2 per, but it's actually 3 actual ones. So this would be good for APU overclocking versus some of the more budget boards. So good news, bad news. I can't recommend the board. I can't recommend the board on 8/13/2019. And that is because a lot of these B450 boards are not updated. And this one is definitely one of them. I'm currently updating it with the Ryzen 5 1400 I have. But that's also why I ordered it, because I have a Ryzen 1400, a 200GE, and a 2600. So I can update the BIOS, no problem. So it is good. ASRock has released a fair bit. I think it's released a BIOS on the 9th. So released a pre-release BIOS, then one on the 9th, one towards the end of July, and one to begin this month. So they've definitely been on their game with releasing BIOSes. I know, I want to say like ASUS finally released the BIOS because there's been a lot of issues. So do I recommend this board? Yes, but no. You really need to get yourself an X570 board, or get a B450 board such as this one that's already flashed. Maybe the retailer you're buying from can flash it, or you know somebody that can flash it for you. But honestly, for like a 3600 or a 3700 or the X series, I mean, it should be a perfectly fine board. Really nice budget board under 100 bucks. And it has good features too, and a fair bit of fans. So that's it. That's my scoop on it. It's a good board, but just take that precaution. But as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.